Hey, welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. And hey, we got the whole gang today. Glennis.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Swirl Suite. This is Glennis. I'm a Vino Noir, all things wine, I guess, today.
Just today?
Just joking.
Tomorrow's going to be something else?
You never know. You never know. Things change.
Tomorrow you're going to be an interior designer? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. No, hello, everybody. And we're going to have some fun today.
Yay. Who's next? Tanisha?
What Glennis said. We're going to have some fun today. Tanisha. Right. I'm Glennis. Vino Noir. No, I can't say that. I'm Tanisha.
Woo.
Okay, yeah. Tanisha, Grummy's Glass. There you go.
Leslie.
Have fun.
This is Leslie, Vino 301 Wine Concierge.
Hey. Did I say my name? I'm Sarita. Buy me up. That's about it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh,
folks. Okay, so can you tell us about your weekend, Sarita?
Yes, please.
So,
Burnt Hill.
So I went to Burnt Hill for the summer solstice natural wine festival. And it was extremely organized. I love the way they did things. I loved how they had buses coming from different parts of DC and Baltimore. So you didn't have to drive. That was a nice option. So I rode from D.O. Wine Bar. Yeah, and once I arrived, the property is very beautiful. It's on a pretty steep hill. You could either walk up the hill or you could jump on the truck and have the take the hay ride up the hill. So that's what I did. Once I arrived to the top, it was a very large tent with all of the winemakers with tables, pouring their wine. First of all, it was a beautiful day. It was a perfect day for an event like this. And just to be outside in the sun. I walked around a little bit, took some pictures, took in the scenery a little bit, and I started to taste some wines. I was very impressed with most of the wines there. And it was a natural wine fest, so you're gonna get that feeling, or that nose that almost seems like a flaw at the beginning of your tasting experience. So once you get past that, you discover a lot of other things about the wine or the cider or whatever I was consuming. You discover a lot of great things about natural wine. So it was very cool. So my strategy was to go through half of the tent and then get something to eat. So I went through half of the tent. I tasted some really great wines. I ended the first half with wines from Georgia. And oh man, they were so good, spot on. And then I got like a rice bowl with fried chicken and pickled onions, and oh gosh, it was so good. And I found a spot to chill, and I was chilling with Julia Coney and Allison, who was Bon Vivant. And we were just hanging out in the sun, eating, drinking, and Julia was super prepared. She had her chair and blanket, and she brought ice, so everybody's wine could chill on ice. It was just a great time. So once I chilled out a little bit, I went to taste more wines, and then I tasted some Turkish wines that were fabulous. It was just a really well done event. It was extremely organized. It was a great time. It wasn't too crowded. It was perfect. And now I believe our guest has arrived.
How are all you guys doing? You look good.
Thank you. How are you? How are you?
Thank you. You're welcome back anytime.
Hold up. So I must say, what would you like us to call you? Because you got a stage name. That means you're real big time. What?
So to answer your question, I don't have a preference. Just as long as you write Chris on my checks. Other than that, I respond to both. I've been using the Seth Brundle for 34. It's been like 12 years or something like that now. But the only reason I created the stage name is because I've gone back and forth between entertainment and corporate. since I graduated from undergrad, and I created the stage name just in case, like in the times that I've gone back to corporate, white people don't get curious about me and start, Googling me and finding out about that part of my life and those aspects of my life, because white people can be very nosy about the only black face.
Oh, very so.
Oh, yeah.
So, so yeah, I've only had one instance of somebody finding like my entertainment related endeavors, and it was very strange. And I don't know how he found it because my legal name is very fucking vanilla. And I am like the 1,000th person that comes up when you search for Chris McMullen. So, yeah.
So that means they were searching.
Yes. Yes, they did a deep dive. I walked into the conference room at my job, or not the conference room, but the kitchen at my job at the time. I used to work for this financial institution. Walking in to get my morning coffee, I was in there talking to somebody, and he goes, "Hey, good morning, Seth Brundle." And I was like, "What? Like, how did you? Huh?" So yeah. So it's not cool, but it's worked as much as I wanted it to. Yeah.
So we sort of just jumped in head first. So Seth, please introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
So my name is Seth Brundle, or Chris McMullen, or Fat Daddy, or Rocky, or however you know me, whether it's from elementary, middle school, high school, college, entertainment world, personal, family. I go by many names. I am the host, co-host, and co-creator of Aspire TV's Butter and Brown. I am an executive producer. I'm a personality. I'm a writer. I am a content creator, and I'm a dad and a husband.
Nice.
Yay.
Nice.
Those
busy,
are
busy.
Yeah, extremely busy.
Yeah.
So with all those jobs, you're also a stylist.
Yes. Yes.
So which out of those professions came first?
I think production came first, so probably the producing aspect of all my multi-hyphenates. I started off my career in entertainment. In undergrad, I interned for Mattel, the toy company. So I was an intern in their entertainment department and transitioned after my second year into being an associate producer. So all of those Hot Wheels and Barbie movies that you guys have seen at Target and Walmart and those different things, like I helped associate produce around that era. So Barbie and Fairytopia, Hot Wheels, what was it called? It was Acceleracers. Hot Wheels Acceleracers, all of the commercials for their international spots and their international products I worked on. And then after that came styling. And I've since taken a break from styling in the last 5 years, but I still take on gigs every now and then, depending on how well I know the person, how much I believe in the project, and how much work is required. Because like I said, I'm a dad now, so I don't have that same young man energy in me like I used to anymore. And especially to deal with entitled celebrities who don't know how to communicate or talk effectively and all that other stuff. I just kind of, I take it and leave it as it comes. So I do have a gig coming up in the beginning of July for a new beauty company where they've hired majority models and personalities of color. So nice. I'm very excited about them. They pay really well. So yeah.
That's a perk.
Yes,
that matters.
That's a perk because Celestia is expensive. So yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so the styling thing came. I did that for about 6 years. And in the midst of doing the styling thing, Leslie had approached me with the idea to do Butter and Brown. And I was telling her, it's crazy that you say that because, I've wanted to do a cooking show. And I actually pitched one that ended up later becoming my other web series, Fundamental, to Issa. But I was like, let's do this. If we're going to do a cooking show, let's find somebody to help us shoot it. Let's shoot a little pilot or a sizzle just so Issa can see what it looks like. Because I think one of the things that happened when I pitched Fundamental to her was that she loved the idea, but she couldn't see it, and it kind of fell by the wayside. And at the time when I pitched it, because it was a year or so prior to us starting Butter and Brown, the web series. So at the time, I didn't have too many resources in terms of people that knew how to shoot and edit and, you know, all that stuff. And especially with food, because food is like a completely different beast. But our friend Theo, who also did her show, Let Leslie Tell It, ended up shooting it, editing it, co-executive producing it with us. So it just all worked out. So I transitioned kind of out of styling almost all the way and into, you know, production, writing, content creation, that type of thing.
So for those who don't know what Butter and Brown is, tell them a little bit about it.
Man, let me talk my shit one time.
Like, who don't know Butter and Brown? Like,
so our little our default I guess elevator pitch for Butter and Brown is it's a stylish, comical cooking series hosted by me and my good friend Leslie Antonoff. We also inject some sketch comedy in there. We make food that's near and dear to our hearts. We are not classically trained. We're self-taught, but we're damn good cooks and chefs. And we just like to get on camera and basically have the show be a reflection of what our friendship is. Leslie and I's friendship, we met shortly after undergrad. I went to Morehouse. She went to Howard.
HU.
HU. The real HU, right?
You know.
Because I got friends at Hampton that would say otherwise, but.
No,
that's okay. And that's why they're not here. Go ahead.
Well, so we met shortly after undergrad, and like we always connected on, you know, our HBCU roots. You know, Leslie's a fashion blogger. You know, I'm a former / current stylist myself, so we always connected on style. And then whenever we would hang out, like we would drink and eat. So the show is really and truly just a reflection of our friendship and what we do in our own kitchens and homes in the first place. But, you know, and I say this with all humility, I think that our show is new, it's refreshing. I think it's really honest, which is one of the reasons why we've been as successful as we've been from our transition from the web to television, because it's just really honest. Like, we're not making pretentious food. We're not making things that our audience is going to have a hard time finding in terms of like the actual ingredients or the groceries themselves. We make dishes that are approachable, and, you know, our techniques are really, really relatable in terms of like what the average person has in their home, whether it's a cheese grater or a cast iron skillet, or, you know, like even just a cheap food processor. We try to approach the show in that way. So Butter and Brown is the hottest cooking show there is out right now, past, present, and in the future. So that's what the show
right
is.
now.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And I have to say, I have made a few of your recipes, but one of my favorites had to be your risotto that y'all made.
So it's funny because I actually have some risotto in the kitchen. We have some mushrooms, and we're going out of town in 2 days. So I was like, I can make that tonight, and then I can make the salmon tomorrow. But yeah, that's one of my favorites too. That was one of Leslie's recipes that she wrote.
Wow.
She's the pasta queen. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys are going into season 3. What's going to be different about season 3 compared to the first 2?
So with season 3, more so than the previous 2, Aspire just gave us full creative control. They didn't tell us no to anything that we pitched. They loved all of our ideas. They really and truly let us be our authentic selves. Like, one of the episodes, for instance, and I'm not really giving anything away, but one of the episodes, for instance, I came up to start shooting the episode with my gold grilling. And I joked with Melissa Ingram, who's the head of the network, like, oh, I'm going to wear my grill for the episode. She was like, go ahead, do it. I was like, are you serious? She was like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, if that's how you want to represent yourself. And, you know, this episode, because it kind of tied into the theme of the episode, she was all for it. So I think what audiences should expect from the 3rd season is just us being our full, authentic Black ass selves. You can, of course, expect even better recipes than we've done before, but still approachable. We got a lot of feedback in the past year from fans of the show in terms of what kind of recipes they want to see, what kind of techniques they want to learn, so you can see that. And then the theme for this season is us just going back to our internet roots. So there are a lot of nods to like the web series. Like, we did one episode was a full web series remix where we remixed a couple of the dishes that we did in that particular episode. We remixed the sketch that we did. And then a lot of the recipes and food itself, food themselves like just have to do with like internet food trends, whether it's like food trucks or, you know, pop-up dinners and that type of thing. So that's what audiences can expect from us, season 3. Just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. This season was probably the most exhausting. Me and Leslie were actually just talking about that this morning. It was the most exhausting shoot for a full season that we've had thus far, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
How many episodes are in a season? How many do you shoot?
So we do 9 each season. So far with between seasons season 1 and 2, we've done 19 episodes because we did a pilot presentation in 2016. We did our first full season 2017, and then our second full season 2018. So we have 19 episodes in the bank so far, and then you can expect 9 more this season.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really
Do you ever have like special guests on your show or anything like that, or is it just strictly you and Leslie?
No, so we do special guests. When we had a few of them this season, we had Ludacris. Not giving anything away because these are things that we posted online, but we had Ludacris going with our whole internet thing. We had James Bland, who is / was one of our network mates on Issa Rae's YouTube channel. He has the series Giants that he just sold to, or not sold, but he's licensing to TV One. So his show just debuted on TV One this past year. So he was one of our guests. We had Chef Risha, who is a huge food blogger and social media personality. And then we had a bunch of local chefs and mixologists from the local Atlanta area where we film for our pop-up episode. So we did have, I think we had maybe 6 special guests. And then there's one episode where we had all of our friends who live in Atlanta come and join us for an episode. So we had a lot of fun. Our director, Ron, had a lot of trouble like rallying us and getting us back focused and together.
That was like
once you
homecoming.
mix, yeah, and these were like, because you guys know, like I went to school in Atlanta, so like once you, and Leslie's friends who live in Atlanta are also her friends from Howard, so once you mix like friends who've known each other for 10, 15 years along with some liquor, you know, it's good times.
It's like a Morehouse Howard homecoming.
Huh?
I said it's like a Morehouse Howard homecoming.
Exactly. It was just like that. Yeah.
Speaking of liquor, what is your drink of choice?
So I prefer bourbon whiskey or Scotch neat. I am actually not the biggest fan of cocktails, and the ones we make are amongst the few that I like. I'm one of those purists when it comes to spirits and coffee. I don't need any sugar, cream, milk, whips, sugar dusting. I don't need any of that stuff. I take my coffee black just like I like my wife, and I also like my whiskey and my bourbon. You know, but you guys see, like we use a lot of infused like simple syrup. So like if I was to have a cocktail, I love citrus. I love like really clean like veggies if you were to put those inside a cocktail. So like cucumbers and, like basil leaves and mint and different things like that. But like when it comes to like putting a bunch of sugar or a bunch of additives and different things like that in cocktails, I'm not the biggest fan. But I've created and had a lot of cocktails that I really do enjoy besides those neat cocktails.
Nice. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream.
Nope. No nothing.
No
nothing.
Feeling you, bro. Feeling
you. And my wife is half Eritrean, so like I like that Ethiopian, Habesha, that motherland coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Is there a dish that you won't make on your show?
See, that's a Leslie question. For me, I would say no, just off the top of my head. Leslie has a lot of food restrictions and things that she doesn't like. Like Leslie, like famously doesn't like cheese, melted cheese. It grosses her out. So we kind of try to stay away from those as much as possible because we want, like again, like in the spirit of authenticity, we want, us tasting on camera and us talking about the flavors in our dishes to be authentic. And then those instances that we do use melted cheese or one of the other things that she doesn't like, she'll usually jokingly like not taste it or, just have me do it or, mention that she's not the biggest fan of it. But for me, there are very few things as is reflective of my BMI and my weight that I don't like. And I'm trying to think of, like, I'm pretty adventurous when it comes to food. So I would say, like, I know I'm not the biggest fan of anything with like a black licorice taste, like anise and those different things. Although, like, when mixed into certain dishes or cocktails and different things like that, I do enjoy them, and it kind of like mutes the flavor a little bit. But black licorice, y'all can take my black card if you want, but I'll get it back. I'm not the biggest fan of watermelon. Not the biggest fan of watermelon, but it doesn't gross me out. It doesn't gross me out. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I can eat it if it's in, like, you know, like a fruit salad or like a regular salad, especially if you have, it's about balance for me. So if I don't like something, you have to balance it out with something else. So I really like salads that have like watermelon cubes in it and like feta or like gorgonzola.
Oh, I love that salad.
Yeah.
With black olives. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When you balance it like that, like I can have it, but there's nothing really that like grosses me out or anything that I won't even like attempt to make or eat or anything like that. So I would say no for me.
Interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with you having a cooking show, do you watch any other cooking shows?
Oh, that's my life.
Yeah.
That's my life. That's how I learned. Huh?
What's one of your favorites?
I really love Barefoot Contessa with Ina Garten. It's funny, like, when you have conversations with different Black people about Ina Garten, you either love her or hate her. Yeah. And I'm one of those people that's on, like, the former side of it. Like, I love Ina Garten. I don't think she's pretentious. I think, just like with our show, I think she uses a lot of very realistic, very approachable ingredients. Like, she might say stuff like, use very good vanilla or different things like that. But it's like, you can find those in your local grocery store, or farmer's market or Asian market and different things like that. So I really love Barefoot Contessa. G would kill me if I didn't say so. And, I love teasing him, but like, he was the first. Turning Up the Heat with G Garvin was one of, if not the first instance I've ever seen of a Black person carrying a cooking show all by themselves. And, an instance where I saw myself reflected in the show. So Turning Up the Heat is definitely a favorite. The Chef Show, which is brand new on Netflix with Jon Favreau, is really, really good. And I'm a really big fan of his and everything he does, whether it's like, he just directed the new Lion King movie with Beyonce and Donald Glover, or, if it's his directing of like the Marvel Comics movies or whatever. Like, I'm a really big fan of Jon Favreau. So those would probably be my top three right now.
Have y'all noticed that the Food Network has gone vanilla again, and so has HGTV?
It's funny. We just had a conversation about that.
Going on. Everybody's white.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Notice that.
Everybody is white. We just talked about that, and it's funny because somebody threw out a stat when we were having a conversation, and they said that Food Network's viewership is made up of mostly African Americans, but if you look at the personalities that are on the network, they only function in a supporting capacity. So, like, if you talk about Sunny Anderson, who's been a long time face on the network, she is one of 5 hosts of, I think, the show The Kitchen. Yeah. You talk about another, very talented Black chef, Marcus Samuelson. He's always functioning in like the guest judge capacity, whether it's on Chopped or Beat Bobby Flay or something like that. There was another guy who, like, was his tenure on Food Networks was really short-lived, and I can't remember his name. All I remember is they had him rapping.
Aaron McCargo, the guy who used to have a No?
Was that the one? Because it was like last year or 2017. Yeah, he was bald-headed, but he used to like rap at the end of every episode, which I thought was really weird.
Sounds horrifying. No.
Yeah, it was really strange. It was really, really strange. He couldn't rap at all. Like, I could see if he was like a rapper turn cook, but like, I think it was just like Food Network's attempt to maybe like Negro the show up or whatever.
Hop,
Oh my God.
It was so bad. But like, his show only lasted, it was like a year. Like, he came and went, and I haven't seen him since. And then the only one who hosts a show by themselves, and he's Afro-Latino, is Roger Muke. And that's it. With Manfire, what is it? Manfire?
Oh, yeah.
But it's interesting, and it's, that's one of the reasons why Leslie and I wanted to create Butter and Brown, because we're such huge fans of Food Network and all the personalities they have on the network. And we just weren't seeing ourselves. Like, Food Network and Cooking Channel are partly responsible for teaching me how to cook. I've been watching since I was a teenager, and I learned through the chefs on that network and through cookbooks and through trial and error in my own kitchen. But, like you guys said, as the years have gone on and you would think we're supposed to make progress, like the network has gone back to being almost completely white. Like, I love Bobby Flay, love him, all his content, but why does Bobby Flay have 10 shows across 2 networks?
That's true.
Yeah.
So what do you think it is? I mean, what do you think it's a conscious attempt, or?
I don't necessarily know that I can speak to like the reasoning behind it. Like, I think one of the predictions that I've had over the last couple of years is the change in social climate. Because if you think about the timing of, Barack's election and winning and his tenure in office, and then the transition from him to Trump, it's gotten wider, but also like the types of programming that they have has changed. Whereas like, I'm a freelance entertainment professional, so I'm home most days and I work from home most days, and I tune into Food Network and Cooking Channel. And the 2 people that I've seen whose presence has grown on the network in the last 3 or 4 years are, I can't remember her name, but the Pioneer Woman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I hate her show.
Yes, and let's talk about that.
Yeah, the Pioneer Woman, and then what's her name? Trisha.
Oh, Yearwood.
Yearwood
is the country music thing.
Yeah.
And one of those meals, and this is just my personal view and not the views of the Swirl Suite, but not to me appear appealing at all. And if I made like 4 of those dishes, I'd probably drop dead of a heart attack. I mean, they are so unhealthy.
Yeah.
On so many levels. It's like just opening up a can of Spam and then mixing it with something and calling it a day. It's just
making it a casserole.
And that's I mean, like, y'all know us, like, I'm not afraid to voice my opinion at all. Like, I feel the same way that you guys do, but like my biggest issue beyond like, because like all of our dishes are not the healthiest. There are episodes that's all about, rich, creamy, fatty, so on and so forth or whatever. So, but we try to have balance. But my biggest issue with those 2 shows and their presence growing on the network, and this might even speak to what I said about what I felt made us authentic and us popular, because you have to think about the ways that in which most Americans cook. But their shows are a lot like, do you guys remember Sandra Lee and Semi Homemade?
Yes.
They remind me, the dishes that they make are a lot like Sandra Lee's in that they're not necessarily or even like half homemade. It's like a hodgepodge of like pre-made shit that you just kind of put together. Like you got a roll of cookie dough and a box of brownie mix or whatever, and you put them together and make, brownie cookie bars. There's nothing nuanced about that to me, and it doesn't teach audiences anything about, upping their chef game or like their skill set or anything. It's just taking a bunch of processed food and putting it together to make even more processed and fatty dishes. And to me, it's just, you can leave that to all the over the head, like cooking videos that are on the internet now, like Tasties and, we got another potato wrapped in cheese, wrapped in bacon, wrapped in, fried breading like dish or whatever, where those are really popular, but they're all different versions of the same dish, where it's like just cheesy, meaty, fatty, whatever, stuffed all of inside each other or something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have one more comment about this. I love Guy Fieri, but I'm ready for his show to go off the air, and I want to see someone else walk around to these different cities and talk about food.
Guy Fieri?
Yeah.
So I will say I am a huge Guy fan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to go anywhere, but I feel you.
Yeah,
They have a new guy on Cheap Eats. Have you seen him? He's Indian or Pakistani. I'm trying to remember.
He's kind of annoying. I don't know. I'm
No.
just really picky. Perhaps that's it. I don't. Can we get a woman? But
See, here's what it is for me. I think like I really enjoy Guy Fieri and his content, his programming. I think he was born to do what he's doing now.
it's true.
So
Yeah.
I really, really, really enjoy his shows. I really like Triple D.
Mhm.
I like Guy's Grocery Games, and then his new show, I can't remember, it's called like The Ranch or something like that.
I don't know that one.
It's basically like they're at a ranch somewhere like in Northern California, like wine country, and there are always like 3 celebrity chefs. It's kind of like Chopped, but it's for celebrity chefs.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
given like kind of like the same challenge, like it's like a theme, like make a blah 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 or whatever, and here's your core ingredients or whatever,
Okay.
and they do that. But I said all that to say, like, I really do enjoy Guy's personality and his programming, but I understand because I feel the same way about, like I said a second ago, I feel the same way about Bobby Flay. Like, I love Bobby Flay, but it's like enough, bro. Like enough. You
Mhm.
got 52 shows across both sister networks. Like it's enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think more so with Guy, it has with Guy as opposed to, or with Bobby as opposed to Guy. I think it's about Bobby's the power that he has as scripts, and then his ego as opposed to like Guy just the demand for him and more content with him, you know, dictating like him getting more and more shows. But I love
I
Guy.
agree.
Yeah.
So this part of our show, we ask a bunch of random questions. We call it random and not so rapid.
Okay.
And actually, this is for everybody. So everybody can answer these because I don't think I've asked y'all any of these. This summer, what is your favorite clothing item?
My birthday suit.
What is happening?
Wow. Yeah, I would say this. I would say the same thing. That and a fan. 'Cause I don't have central AC, so my birthday suit and a fan
But
is
wait, you
definitely
live
my
where?
top.
You don't live in Atlanta, do you?
No, I live in LA.
I was about to
Like,
say.
Oh no. Nah,
Wow.
I think it's like illegal to build a new development in Atlanta without central air.
Right.
But
But
it
we
should.
Do you have a window unit? Do you have any?
So we have one of those. We bought because we moved back to LA 2 years ago from the Bay Area, and we bought one of those huge like portable air conditioning units.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a window unit, but it's like a huge box. It's like half the size of a stove.
Right.
Yeah, I have
So
one of those
On the
before.
floor. You can bring it from room to room.
Yeah,
so
so-
that room is really cool. So
Yeah. So that room is really cool and it's really effective. But like, I don't know if you guys can see like our place, we have like those old school like swing windows.
Oh, you
Mhm.
do.
So it's hard to like buy one of the window units where you can just put it in the window and close the window.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna, because we were talking about that because it got really hot like the latter part of the summer last year where there were like 4 or 5 days where it was so hot we couldn't sleep.
Oh,
Wow.
So we were talking about getting, because we have a couple friends who are carpenters, but getting them in here and seeing if they can build like a custom swing window. And we can take one out and put one in the living room and the bedroom because it gets seriously hot in our place.
I can imagine.
But yeah, but I would say short answer for me is anything that fits. anything that fits, because y'all know I love fashion, I love clothes, but like this dad bod,
That is such a dad answer.
this dad bod and this weight gain that I've had since my son was born, and you know, just running around and not being able to necessarily eat as healthy as we want. We for the most part eat home cooked food, but you know, we've been traveling a lot for the last 2 months. There's been a lot of weddings, a lot of work. And we're going to the Bay Area for my wife's job in a couple of days, and then to visit, you know, some of our friends who still live there. So it's hard, like with that balance, but really it's about anything that fits.
Even in California, I thought y'all were the town of like vegans and like smoothies and shit.
So that's one of my favorite questions. So with California and living in LA, that shit is transplants. That's not us. That's not real LA. That's people who move here. They have a specific style in mind, and you know they want to practice yoga and give up all animal based. Right? That's not LA. That's not LA. I grew up on Brawley Hut and Golden Bird Chicken and, uh, barbecue and fish fries and all that other stuff. I live in that type of neighborhood. So I can find you 5 vegan restaurants in like a 1 mile radius, but that's not how true Angelinos like eat.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I believe in balance, so I will eat vegan every now and then, and I try to eat as clean as possible. But that's not real LA people. That's people who move here from other places.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. What about y'all? Y'all having a summer item that's your favorite right now?
Anything linen. Anything that is breathable.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got to catch that breeze.
Yeah.
Woo, yes.
You said
Yes.
Tanisha, what about you? Yeah, she said linen. Tanisha, what about you in Paris?
yeah, linen get too wrinkled for me. You know, I am an iron maniac. Like, so linen just does not work for me on that front. But for me, like a maxi dress, just get a little breeze up underneath it, breeze on the shoulders. Yeah, a maxi dress.
And if I wasn't a married man, I would have some commentary on maxi dressing. No.
Glenn,
Good
what
choice.
about you?
Good choice.
Summer. Well, because I work in a building that's always freezing, I have to wear what's going to be appropriate for work. So, but after work, a t-shirt and some shorts, I'm good.
Yeah.
Now, when I get to travel, I'm on an island, bathing suit and the best cover up that match the bathing suit.
Yeah.
So,
do not do shorts. I have just never been like a shorts person.
Yeah.
I've been an adult. I am not a shorts person.
love shorts. Love them.
Same.
Sarita, what about you?
I'm doing like loose pants all summer, like loose, like flowy,
Like palazzo.
and like flowy skirts. I like it loose, especially because we're heading to New Orleans. Oh my God, that sticky, hot humidity, just like it is here today. But I just need
humidity at all.
Oh yeah. Favorite movie with a black cast. And note, I didn't say black movie because all movies that have black casts aren't black movies.
Love Jones.
I love Jones.
Love it.
Love Jones.
I watched it times over the last week. I love it. Love Jones. I love that movie because it's about friendship. It's about African Americans supporting each other. It's about music and jiving. It's a love story. It shows folks being like the rivalry between Lorenz Tate and Bill Bellamy and how they doesn't work. Everything about the movie. Okay, that was yours. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
That movie, Leslie. And the soundtrack is
the soundtrack is off the hook. Like you can listen. That's one of the few
Timeless.
where you don't skip a song. You just listen all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
You might even back up a couple of songs and like, oh, I didn't catch that the last time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's truly unfuckwittable.
Yes. Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
Okay.
Mine would probably be The Wood.
The Wood.
Really? Yeah.
I think for me, like that was solidified because y'all said favorite movie with an all black cast because it's a tie between my other favorite movie is Alien because I'm a nerd, I'm a sci-fi nerd, but The Wood is definitely my other favorite movie, but it's my favorite movie with the black cast, and it's just really nostalgic for me. Like I remember the movie came out when I was sophomore or junior in high school, so it was like really about like my coming of age and like thinking about my friendships with my boys and like memories that we share, like not to be graphic or whatever, but like even being able to relate, like all of us competing to lose our virginity, what it was like to be like clean cut, like straight laced, like African American boys growing up in LA where gang culture was really prevalent, where it was dangerous even to go to a party, but like it's always been one of my favorite movies. I remember when I was homesick, like my first year at Morehouse, I hated Atlanta. I hated, Morehouse. I hated everything about that experience. So I used to like on weekends, I would just watch The Wood on continuous loop
Wow.
over and over and over again. And even now, like as an adult, like just, revisiting my love for that movie and my thoughts around it and my admiration for it from, adolescence to being a young man to being a grown man myself and having, for the most part, the same friends that I've had since high school and college itself, all of us, because I have two main groups of homeboys. So my homeboys from high school and my homeboys from college, like half of us are now married, half of us, are now fathers in both groups. So it's an amazing film. It's an amazing film, and it feels good. It just gets you,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and that one has a decent soundtrack too. It's not as good as Love Jones,
Yeah.
but that one has a decent soundtrack too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also some of Taye Diggs' best acting.
I give you that. He plays a really good drunk guy.
does.
That's my favorite part.
He does, and he got the LA Negro like accent down pat.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Wow.
Noted.
Yeah.
So I have two eras. Now, the trilogy, Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, Piece of the Action.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, it's there.
Wait, what did you say? I missed it. What did you say? What?
It's a trilogy. A lot of people don't even remember it as a trilogy, but it was Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, and Piece of the Action with Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby were the leads.
Yes.
And they had one occasional white boy that was a gangster every now and then, but they weren't the focus. Anyway, that was like, Let's Do It Again. But those are the best. I just love every last one.
Those are great choices. Jesus.
Yes.
Those are the best. So now, what would I say? Like, recent again. Yeah, Love Jones. Then Love and Basketball was great as well.
Okay, that's a good one.
Love and Basketball was great as well. So those are mine. But that 60 year, 70s year, some of the cast. Silky Slim was.
Yeah.
We'll just always name somebody we gotta Google it. But I know she feel the same way about us.
Exactly.
Tanisha, your turn.
Mine is older, but School Days.
Oh, yeah.
School Days is what made me really, really be like solidified. Like, oh, I'm going to a black college. Like this is happening. Like this is happening. This is where I'm going. This is what's going down. So
I feel that. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That was a different world for me.
Oh yeah.
It's a different world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I grew up on a different world, but then it was syndicated on TNT when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a 2-hour block from like, I think it was like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. that it would come on. So I would like watch A Different World while I was getting ready for school. And like by the time I hit like my senior year, it was solidified. Like I was like, I'm going to Morehouse or Howard. And, I made the right decision,
Oh, sorry.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
I'm just like anybody who went to a black college. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
you made the right decision.
Oh, I forgot Brown Sugar.
Yes.
Oh,
Come on, I didn't go yet. That was
Hold on one
What's
second.
that choice, Sarita?
okay.
Okay. I'll take it back.
So mine is, since Glenda said mine already, mine was Brown Sugar, but hands down, Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights. Yeah.
Harlem Nights. I
Yes.
can watch Harlem Nights over and over again.
Now you know what my second is The Color Purple.
Oh, I
will stop what I'm doing to watch The Color Purple.
Really?
All 4 hours of it.
Yes.
Right. It's like a Lifetime movie.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, we could add Black Panther to our list now.
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely gonna go.
Yeah, I didn't think we had to say that out loud because we all
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just for the record, in case somebody listening to it and be like, well,
Also, The Best Man.
The Best Man.
The Best Man classic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, do you like one better than two or?
Oh, I like one much better than two. Two was.
Say, don't we always like one better than two?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nah. The two didn't seem like a classic to me.
The one definitely. That's another one coming of age because I think
Yeah.
I had either just graduated from college, so it was that age where all my friends were getting married then, and you always had that one person. You always had a Shelby in the group where you were like, "Why?" Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes Shelby is a man.
This is true.
Sometimes he's Shelton. Shelton. Yeah.
Shelby or Shelton. Okay.
Yeah.
We got a Shelby and a Shelton in our college group. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we love them. We love them. Yeah.
This Christmas was good too.
It was.
That's cute.
Especially because the youngins went to Morehouse and Spelman.
Oh.
Yes.
Of course you would know that.
Right.
Yes, they did.
It was one of the selling points for me. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, they did.
Okay, next question. Name a food that makes you ignore calories.
All of it.
I was gonna say anything fried. Anything fried.
I
Twinkie or Oreo, chicken, fish, fry it, butter, corn, whatever. Anything fried.
feel that. I'm a huge fan of any loaded potato type of situation. So if like whether it's like poutine or chili cheese fries or carne asada fries or like a hash with like a fried egg and some cheese, like any type of like French fries, home fries, roasted potatoes, smash, like anything with potatoes, cheese, meat, and eggs, like that's my jam.
Mm-hmm.
That's my jam. I don't care how many calories it has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
For me, if I smell a waffle.
Really?
Oh, hold on, because let me break it down. I'm not just talking about like a regular waffle. Of course, like Belgian waffles, yeah, that's cute. But if I smell like a waffle cone, you walk into an ice cream shop and you smell the waffle. Oh my God, it's over. So anything waffle, yeah.
So Rita, there's a place that opened up near me in Bowie. It's called Ruby's. Did I tell you about this? So Ruby's is a little black-owned carry-out place. They have a couple of seats inside or what have you, and they serve breakfast all day long, but they also serve other soul food. But one of their breakfast items is a sweet potato waffle.
Wow.
And she makes it with a caramel sauce and honey butter.
I might find that on the show next season. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is all that.
Yeah.
A sweet potato waffle.
Wow.
Ooh, anything with caramel too. Oh my gosh, love caramel.
I might take that.
You might have to come out to Blackville.
That sounds like it. Yeah.
Glennis and Leslie, did y'all answer?
Nope. I think mine is lasagna and cheesecake.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how many calories. I can eat 2-3 pieces of cheesecake. And I'm talking about good New York style cheesecake.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
Love it.
Fried cheesecake.
And pizza.
Where do you stand on what's the infamous New York cheesecake spot?
Oh, you talking about Junior's?
Where do y'all stand on Junior's?
Junior's is well, okay, so Junior's in next to the Marriott Marquis. I know where you're going with this because now that Junior's has gotten commercialized, so to speak, it seems like the quality has gone down. I'm talking Junior's when they first started, they used to make some phenomenal cheesecake, but with anything, when you overproduce and you're trying to keep up with demand of half the country, I think it's losing some of its quality. So
I agree 100%.
Junior's used to be. I grew up in New York, New Jersey area, and Junior's used to be off the chain. But now, but if you go into like a diner in the New Jersey, New York area, that's not a chain, you can get some of the best cheesecake. As a matter of fact, I had a piece on Saturday. Ate it about 2:00 in the morning. I was like, I'm gonna have this for breakfast tomorrow. Oh, it didn't make it. I ate it 2:00 in the morning.
It be like that sometimes.
No,
Uh-huh.
seriously.
It be like that.
Exactly. Like I'm not.
There's
It's calling my name. Okay, I hear you.
Who am I not to answer?
right.
Exactly.
Who am I?
Exactly. Who am I?
Who do I think I am?
Who am I to get ready to lay down on this cheesecake and not burn off some of the calories? Okay, what the heck? I don't care.
Leslie, what's your answer? Did you say?
No, I didn't. A potato is my kryptonite anyway. Any way you make the potato is my kryptonite. Yes. So Glennis, I want to tell you about this cheesecake you need to try,
Okay.
and you will appreciate it because it's called the furlough cheesecake.
Oh, the
the
furlough
two
cheesecake.
ladies,
Yeah.
sisters
Yes.
who started making cheesecakes on the furlough and started selling them and have blown up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Orange Man.
Where is this at?
It's here. It's here in DC. DC.
But
Oh.
they ship nationally.
Yeah.
Yep. They just got
Walmart.
Walmart. Yeah.
Right?
They're in Walmart now.
Mm-hmm.
I heard them speak the other day, and their story is phenomenal. And this just happened in January,
Yep.
and they are going to be in Walmart in August.
That's
They
crazy.
blown up. Just it was just divine intervention.
It was. It really was.
It was that push.
Yeah.
Gotta make some money. Let's start making these cakes. I don't know how they can afford the ingredients because cheesecakes are expensive as hell to make.
Yeah.
But
We are not cheap. Yes.
but they did it on their furlough dollars, furlough savings. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
happy
And
for
it's
them.
good. I don't know if you had it, but
No, I haven't had it.
tried
You had
It
it?
is good.
No.
hmm
Nice.
You got some at your house right now?
No, it didn't make it that far. It didn't make it out the parking lot.
See? Oh, I understand.
All right, next question. The most memorable music video for you?
I know
so
mine.
yeah, go ahead. It looked like
I
you
know mine. It's still to this day. It's funny too. I wish I could send you guys photos during the conversation, but Puff Daddy and the Family's More Money, More Problems. That video changed my. I wanted to be signed to Bad Boy Records so bad, and I can't remember the brand, but my mom, God bless her, my mom went out and found whatever the brand name was, because it was weird because it was the same name as the local arcade in my neighborhood, but Cyberstation. That's what it was. They were wearing Cyberstation sweatsuits in the video. So my mom found me 2 Cyberstation sweatsuits. I grew out a curl like Diddy. I had the sunglasses, but like that video, like I know it must have cost like $1 million between like the Tiger Woods parody, the clips, like the clips that they weaved in from Biggie because he had passed at the time, like the glitz, the glamour, the song itself, the Diana Ross sample, like that video changed my. I wanted to be from Bad Boy so bad. You would have never guessed I was a West Coast kid. Ever. I still, like, to this day, if that video came on right now, I'd be like, hold on, y'all. Like, that video changed my life.
Turn up.
That's awesome. Guys, any music?
Mine is old. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
my favorite or like classic video is Michael Jackson Thriller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yes.
That was it for me. Still to this day, know most of the dance, not the whole dance anymore. But
No.
most of it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So I don't know any other videos. So.
Yes, you do.
Girl, just name another Michael Jackson video. Nobody gonna get mad at you for that. Billie Jean, we loved it. Whichever one where the sidewalk lit up, that one was hot too.
Oh yeah.
Billie Jean, yeah.
Back when videos used to be like 70 minutes long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. I like Janet Jackson, Control.
Oh, that's a nice one.
When she, like, 'cause you hadn't seen her and she was Penny, and the next thing you know, here she come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
She in
and
control,
she had
like
the
man.
dancers and everything. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rhythm Nation was hot too.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wasn't that the live
Exactly.
one? Yeah.
Yeah. I think mine was Missy, Get Your Freak On.
Ooh,
Oh,
good
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Favorite. Yeah. I can't wait to see her in New Orleans. I'm gonna see her for the first time live.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Nice.
saw. Where did I see Missy? It was at Essence or something like that. It was in the last couple of years, but she's one of her. Her and Mary J. Blige are two of the best live performers I've seen in my lifetime. And you know they're insanely talented. And like we make fun of slash like, you know, like in a loving way, like Mary's, you know, like dance moves or whatever.
But she cannot
Yeah.
dance.
But have you seen Mary live? Have you seen
Yeah,
Mary live?
I've seen Mary
Yes.
live a few times. Awesome.
We got up in the like seeing her do her moves like in person in the way that she like moves the crowd and like switches up to song.
She moves a crowd, but she ain't on beat.
She ain't off beat. That
Can't do
Mary,
it.
Mary is one of the best live performers I've ever seen.
Agreed.
No, she is good. I saw her live at Howard doing one of our homecomings.
Yeah.
That's when her first album had dropped back early 90s. And then I saw her here at the Verizon Center. And I was just like, okay, sing, but stand still.
See, we got totally different opinions on it. I think Mary can dance.
She do this.
Hateration. Hateration.
No, by no means.
well, she gave a concert last night.
She sure did.
She gave a concert. I
still
didn't
haven't
expect her to
seen it.
perform that long.
It was good.
No, me and my wife watched the first, I think it was like 20, 30 minutes of it, and it was really good, but we were like tired, and
Yeah.
she had just gotten back in town, and I had my little boy all weekend by myself, so it was like, let's get some sleep.
Yeah.
So we might
don't
finish
have that
it tonight.
channel.
We have it recorded on DirecTV now, so we might finish it tonight.
Yeah, it was one of the better award
Skip
shows.
to Mary. Yeah.
Yeah, Regina Hall did an incredible job.
I
I
mean,
heard-
can we
I-
talk
I
about
saw the
video. I
repping
got to see
DC
that.
all day? Wow.
And the way she repped DC and like just seeing like that culture like come to life on that show the way it did, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible. She's someone I've had the pleasure of meeting a couple times,
Yeah.
and she's like so genuinely sweet, but also like really funny. Like
She
like,
seems like it.
Yeah,
really funny. Like and like you know, like we give certain people in our community the credit of being like comedic actors and different things like that. Like, you know, Tiffany Haddish and the like.
Yeah.
And amongst that ensemble in that movie, like you always think of Tiffany being like the comedic breakout, but Regina is hilarious. Like even just like her ability to like, you know, like just think quick on her feet, like create jokes like out of nowhere. She's so sweet and so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Dude.
awesome.
Yeah, I think y'all reminded me. I think I'm gonna finish it tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Name something you can no longer drink.
Mad
Champagne.
Dog 2020.
Mad Dog.
Say that.
This go.
Zima.
Oh,
This
wow.
Ooh, you went with the Zima.
Mystic.
Mystic?
Oh, that's just because it doesn't exist anymore. Oh my
Reuniting. Reuniting.
Mm.
I could never drink that.
Well, sorry, Bougie. Because back in the day on the block, reuniting, like, we'll take a little bottle of that. This was like when we really wasn't supposed to be drinking to start with, but
Yeah, it's definitely champagne and like tequila for me. I have like a one glass minimum with both of those. Like champagne will like really and truly like mess me up. I could
Hold on. Can you
bottle.
specify what you're actually drinking?
yeah.
Like what's
What brand?
actual champagne or sparkling wine.
yeah.
Whether it was made in the mountains of France, or if it was manufactured in somebody's backyard, or if it's $2 on the shelf at Trader Joe's, like all champagne messes me up.
Wow.
I don't know if it's too much sugar or what it is, but I can have like one glass of champagne and then I can have like tequila like in a margarita or something like that, but like one of them. Otherwise, like the two of those mess me up.
Wow.
We're on the opposite side. I can drink almost an entire bottle of whiskey to myself and be fine.
Huh.
Wow.
Mess you up
But
like
like,
drunk or mess you up like sick?
Stomach.
mess me up like sick, like hungover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Mm.
Yeah, like during the time, like it tastes fine going down. Like I don't think the champagne's alcohol content per sip or per whatever milliliter or whatever it is, it's not worth it. It's too much liquid for how much you have to drink to get tipsy and drunk. But like, yeah, I don't.
Okay. All right.
So we'll just take your glass if we're all ever in your same
Yes.
place.
Yeah,
They're
we will
giving us
drink the
champagne.
champagne.
Just
Yes,
go ahead
please.
and
We'll
take
give you
yours
some
and
bourbon or whiskey.
I will pass them along.
We'll
Okay.
finish them off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it's Tanqueray. I can't drink it no more.
No gin?
No, I
Or
can
it's
drink
just
gin.
Tanqueray?
I love gin. I
It's
just
Tanqueray.
can't Tanqueray. I cannot do at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad experience. It's college dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Cuervo. Woo, cannot.
You can't drink Cuervo?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst offenders. Yeah.
I went back to gin. I used to be like that with gin. Now gin is one of my, if not my favorite spirit. Gin is definitely top 3.
Yeah. I love gin, but gin will get me drunk real fast. Real fast. I don't know. It tastes so good and I never get hungover from it or whatever, but like I could have I think we did 2 gin cocktails this season and we really drink on set. Like me especially, like Leslie will tell you, like I drink like for real while we're on set. And always like whenever we do gin cocktails, like I either switch mine with vodka off camera or like I don't really drink it at all because we could lose an entire shoot day. Like gin will get me real quick. Real quick. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
That is
I
crazy.
love the honesty and transparency.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes when you guys see those clear bottles on set, because we stopped using the bottles with the labels because we want to be paid for it, and we converted to using like clear decanters.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you see us say gin, or you hear us say gin, and you see a clear bottle, most of the time there's vodka in there.
Ha!
Yeah. Or water. Sometimes we substitute gin and vodka for water or switch them out for each other. And then with bourbon, we'll switch it out with apple juice sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to get the episode.
Yeah, if we're shooting longer and we're sipping more and we need to get those shots of us sipping, we'll just switch it out with apple juice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
TV secrets.
Tricks of the trade. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, last question. What is your favorite show theme song?
Jefferson's We're Moving On Up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
To the east side.
I forgot.
Somebody has to answer so she can stop singing.
Oh my God.
I forgot what's the artist's name who did all the like the TGIF things. Like I think it was Bob Seger or something like that. But like it's either Family Matters or Full House is like my favorite because it's the same guy who composed all of them.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those. Like it's a rare condition. This day and age.
News on the newspaper page. Yes.
Love and tradition is a grand design. That white boy has some soul. And just thinking about like everybody doing their little pose, like that was like the height of television for me. Like Steve Urkel and the Olsen twins and like all of them. That's like my era of television. So between those two, Family Matters and Full House, those are my favorite TV show theme songs.
These are showing our generations because
I know.
That's about to show my career. Mine was Family Ties with Denise Williams.
That's
and
another
I can't
good
remember
one.
the other person. I love that theme song. So.
Family Ties was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Mine was Living Single.
Single, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Check it out. Sarita.
Oh, y'all want another very unpopular opinion that might get my black card taken?
Oh, boy.
I know what you're going to say.
I'm sitting down. Okay.
What?
Everybody needs to sit. Martin and Living Single are 2 of the most overrated black sitcoms.
Nope.
Well, thanks for
That's the
coming
one
on
that.
our show.
That's the one that almost always gets me in fights. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
Martin
thanks for being with us.
No.
Living Single?
I think the other. No. I'm sorry. No.
I just.
No. What?
Oh, y'all entertaining this? I thought we were just gonna close out the show. I thought we were like what we.
So this is
I'm like, next question. Like, what are we doing?
I know it's wildly unpopular, but like this is also an informed opinion because I was one of those fat ass kids that always sat in front of the TV and watched everything. Mm-hmm. So like I've seen every episode of Martin and Living Single and Fresh Prince and Family Matters and Family Ties and The Jeffersons and every other black sitcom ever. And like I know why people revere them, but like the two of those, like you can't force me to watch either one of those today.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a preference.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Definitely a preference.
Wait, so what would you rather watch instead of those two?
Fresh Prince, Family, and any of the other ones that we named. I love like just about every black sitcom that's ever come out, but those two, like I don't know if it's.
It's funny that you said Fresh Prince because Will Smith acts just like Martin on the Fresh Prince. It's like a. What?
I don't know if it was. I don't know what it is about those two. Like and it was one of those things. Like I knew I didn't like them growing up. I just watched them because they were on, and like we didn't have like VR and Netflix and all that other stuff. So it was like, well, it's on, and there's only 4 other channels, and there's only news on those channels or whatever. So I guess I'll watch Martin. But it never like I love Martin Lawrence. I love Tisha Campbell. I love what's his name, Carl Payne. Like I love like the entire cast and characters of both shows. And I appreciate their contributions to like black media and media in general, but just like, and I love everything else that all of them have ever done, but just those 2 shows, I'm just like,
oh my God.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Sanford and Son had a good theme song.
They did. They did have a good theme. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if in Living Color, did they have a theme song?
They did, yeah.
You can do what you wanna do. In Living Color. And they kind of remixed that like twice, I think it was. You can also find it Living Color on Aspire TV.
I like the little plug.
Plug. Yeah.
So if there's nothing else to ask Seth, aka Chris.
AKA
all the other
Martin.
Right.
Yeah, I bet y'all got some other names for me now.
No. AKA he don't like Martin.
Right.
AKA what's wrong with you?
Who is this?
Send all your angry letters to him.
Uh-huh.
Don't at me,
right.
please
At
don't
him. What's your at? Because we finna put it out.
Yes. Where can everybody find you on social media?
At anti-Martin.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Knife.
I can be
Twitter
found
handle.
everywhere, every social media platform at Seth Brundle, SETH BRUNDLE, and also Butter and Brown, BUTTERAND BRWON. I'm sorry, or BROWN. Jesus, I'm a little dyslexic like Theo.
Oh my God. And so do you have a premiere date for Butter and Brown, or can you tell us that yet?
Yes, so I think the date is locked in, so I'm comfortable saying it. Season 3 debuts on Aspire TV October 1st, 2019 at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific.
Got it.
Just followed you.
Awesome. This has been so fun. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you guys so much for taking out the time, and I apologize for my CP time.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, I thought I scheduled it, and I was like, oh, I'll be done by then, and we ran a little over, but yeah.
Yeah. The next time you and your wife are in DC or in Paris, just let us know. That's where we live.
All right.
Who lives in Paris?
Tanisha lives in Paris.
I do.
We'll look you. We might be going to Paris. We're tentatively planning a trip next year.
Do it.
So I'll let you guys know for sure. And Leslie and I might be coming back to DC sometime this year for another Xfinity thing.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you guys posted for sure.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah, and I think we might be at Howard's Homecoming this year too, because we did Morehouse Film's Homecoming this past year. So I think we're doing Howard's this year.
Of course.
Yeah.
the Mecca,
Yeah.
the greatest of all time.
I have not been to Howard's Homecoming, so I'm very excited.
Wait, what?
Oh, your black card.
Well, that's where your black card is getting red.
I went to an HBCU, and I have been to Philhouse's homecoming.
I only went to Howard's homecoming because I lived in DC, so it's not
Right.
the greatest homecoming on earth.
We're talking about one of the biggest rivalries between Howard and Morehouse when it comes to football games.
Homecoming gets better.
Oh.
Yeah, ours is better.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Ours is better.
Not even
We'll all fight for that. It's literally called the greatest homecoming on earth. So I mean, we all can fight. We all
Yeah,
can fight it out. So.
that's fine with me. Hold on 1 minute.
Well, that's it.
No, Seth, it's a
That is. Well, that's our show, guys. Thank you so much, Seth, aka Chris. Cheers.
Thank you guys so much. Also
pleasure
much.
meeting
A
you.
lot of fun.
Bye bye.
Thanks for not beating me up. All right, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining the Swirl Suite, everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And also, Essence is about a week away, and we'll be in the building. We're going to be with the Hughes Society at the Black Wine Experience. We're going to be doing some live interviews. We're going to have a table at the Black Wine Experience, and we're going to do, like I said, some live footage in the main ballroom. So send us any questions that you may have. We hope to see you in New Orleans. Happy Wine Wednesday. Cheers.